It's here. It's finally here. ChatGPT Agent has released to the masses. Everybody with a $20 subscription or above now has Agent. I think it might be rolling out still, but you're pretty close to getting it if you don't have it today. So just hit reload a couple times. I bet it'll be there. The real question though, is it any good? This one's got coffee beans showing up. This one's busily back here writing programs trying to figure out what it's doing. And this one, tickets that it's thinking about purchasing for Backstreet Boy. There's a lot of really high variety going on here. I think this will be fun. Okay, full disclosure, I have my first 3 running right now. They're bubbling away all around me. I'm very excited about it. And really, from first viewing, they really are doing some pretty amazing stuff. So I really want to get into it. I've put 3 challenges to it of increasing difficulty. We'll see if we can get through the last one. It's pretty difficult as far as I'm concerned, but all of them have their own little difficulties to them, I suppose. This is an opportunity to really kick the tires. First look at ChatGPT Agent to see, our browser's dead. Okay, first things first, let's take a look at it, figure out how it gets started, what it looks like. When you load ChatGPT and you have access to it, you'll probably get a little pop-up telling you something, but under the tools menu is where you're gonna find this thing. If you click on tools, you'll see this new item called Agent Mode, and it'll tell you how many you have. You get 40 a month. If you're on the $20 plan, you get 40 a month. I want you to find the best television projectors that a normal human can afford. I don't know much about these things, a good report, worried I won't be able to use it during the day, and make the report pretty. That's kind of what I'm asking for. So what you do is you come down here and select Agent, and Agent has the ability to see sources. Now, I'm not exactly sure what it's going to do with these. Like I said, this is brand new, brand spanking new to me, so I don't know how it puts the files out. I have it connected to Drive at this point, just so that it can save any files into a location that I might be able to get to them. All right, so when you kick this off, it goes and thinks about the prompt you've given it. This combines deep research with something we've been calling computer use, which really basically is either your computer or a virtual computer that the system can see and move a mouse cursor around, click things, take actions, and in this case, even write scripts and use some local tools to it. Like I said, this was a simple prompt. You can see it's coming back and saying, sounds like a fun project. To put this together, let me know your approximate budget, normal humans. What do you mean it doesn't know what a normal human range is? Let's say below, I know these things are expensive. So it's going to kick off and it's saying, great, I now have something to work with. You can see it's created this computer environment already. This is in the cloud. It is a virtual computer. Even though it doesn't really look like a computer, it's not showing us full fidelity of the computer itself. This is what it looks like, and it shows us what's happening. It gives us kind of an abstract of what's happening. There are some other modes up here, so I can stop the browser and take over, and then it will pop into a higher fidelity version of this. I can also just stop the task altogether. And then taking over the browser, by the way, makes sense when you need to enter credentials or you need to enter credit card information or whatever it might be, when actions are going to be taken on your behalf. None of my examples are trying to do that kind of work just yet, but you might imagine that's the moment it'll come back and say, hey, I need you to approve something, and you'll need to take over. But if you look at activity, you can see something that looks a little bit more like a chain of thought that we've seen in the past with thinking models that goes by and shows you the actions that it's taking and the thinking that it's doing inside of that space. Okay, so this is it in action right now. They take a while to finish, so I'll let this guy finish and come back and show you. This isn't one of the 3. There's 3 others going on that I really want to show you, but maybe we'll see if we buy a projector today. Okay, they're all done. Let's take a look at our projectors here. This one came back as a nice little report. So this feels a little bit more like what you would have gotten from a deep research report, which is nice. It did come up with a nice little image, which is awesome, and then some information, and I will pretend like I am reading this and it looks great, and I definitely want to buy one. I'm sure it would tell me a lot, and people that know anything about these would be saying, this is terrible. So maybe it's terrible. I don't feel capable of reviewing this one and the quality of the output that it has. So the next one I thought was not incredibly difficult, which was a weekend getaway to LA or Vegas. kind of do a comparison. Tell me which one might have the best events over the next week because I have some time off and maybe I'll want to take a trip. Tell me some prices, those kinds of things. So what does it got? It says July 29th, August 3rd. Let's see, 150 a night, hard limits, file saved. So here's the review file. So what I did ask for, and you can see it gives me a little report up front that we can look at, but I've also asked for outputs that look like some kind of HTML file or some kind of presentation. Whether or not it does that well is another question, but you can see it also gave us all of the different data as data that it found, which is kind of nice. So let's take a look at the interactive travel flyer. LA versus Vegas. What I'm looking to do is kind of compare the events that are occurring over this period of time that we might be able to go see in Los Angeles versus Las Vegas, and some hotels that we might stay at with this kind of price point, and give me an idea of how much it might be. Here we go. To do one versus the other. So cost comparison, about $1,000, 2 people. That's great. I get it. And event timeline. Oh, this is kind of a nice little plot that they have here. So the different events that are available are on August 1st and August 2nd, of course. Different food picks that it has. This was a little bit weaker than I expected. This is nice that we have different restaurants that it would offer, but I thought maybe it would give a little bit more of a travel review and here's some options and tell a little story. But I've got 37 of these left, and I am definitely going to challenge it and say, can you tell a story with this, make it more inviting and exciting, not just a single page kind of thing. I think this is a pass. At the very least, this is a good idea of what's happening in these 2 cities. How much might it cost to go if I was going to take a 5-day trip or whatever it looked like. So, all right, on to the next. The next one's interesting. So the next one I asked, I have a K-cup machine suddenly, and I need some regular coffee. And so one of the things that's really important in this one, we'll see if it pulled it off, was to do what they call breakfast coffee, or kind of daily driver, normal coffee, not flavored coffees and not dark coffees, was really the ask. And that's actually more difficult than it sounds like. So I've said, go find some samplers and some individual boxes that are highly rated. Don't just use Amazon, look in other places and see what we might get as some of the best coffee out there that I might be interested in sampling. Let's see what it comes up with a report for the K-cup. Yeah, okay. Again, it definitely is challenged to distribute anything to us that even kind of looks good. The research, I'd immediately say, okay, I can see what you're after. You gave me sampler pack picked, and this is a mix of unflavored light and medium roast. Okay, 6 breakfast, 6 country blend, 6 dark, 6 French. So this is only unflavored. 27% is medium and unflavored. So, okay, varieties mostly medium, sampler bag, non-flavored. Okay, so that's an interesting one as well. I don't really have any links. They do have these reference numbers somewhere that I might chase down, I guess, in one of the data files and go find out, I don't know, where this came from. So that's kind of a huge miss. On the movie one, I did ask for explicit links. Maybe I didn't ask for links on this, but I would expect that to be something that they would give. And then the other one was 10 individual medium and K-cup kind of things. Green Mountain, Caribou, Pete's, Folgers. Okay, normal stuff. Here's the price per number of pods, per cup. Okay, that's kind of nice. Average rating, only a couple of them have ratings. Why it stands out, small batch artisanal. So, all right, it did a fine job, right? I don't know that this is an amazing job. I would definitely need to really look through this, maybe get a couple of these. Maybe that's what I'll do and report back to see if any of them are any good. A few are some of my favorites, so it makes sense. It's okay. It's just looking up coffee. Didn't seem like a real hard task, but I would still say, I don't know that it passed because it didn't give me any links, so I don't know how to get back to them. I don't even know what site they were found on without being able to chase back where these links go to. So a little bit weak, and the UI of this was really weak. That's very, very possibly that's on me. It's worth saying it would be entirely reasonable, if you ask me, that it was a prompt engineering problem. I need to figure out how to say what I want is a highly attractive website that is interactive and blah, blah, blah. We know these models can do those kinds of things, so I would bet this was on me, but still kind of weak sauce to begin with. All right, the last one to me was the hardest one. kind of asking a lot. So this was a hard one saying, hey, we like TV and movies. Let's go look up movies that are specifically on streaming sites. And you might be able to see up here, buzzworthy movies from a list of streaming sites dropped within the last 6 months. Compile an HTML newsletter. Okay, if I said newsletter, I probably accidentally did. Yeah, it looks a lot like a newsletter, so we're prepared to be a little disappointed once again. Movie posters, details, selection rationale, save everything into this. Now this, I want to say, was an interesting detail. So I did, as you saw in one of mine, I gave it reference to my drive, and I said, please save your stuff into Drive, and it's not there. So this folder isn't even there. So I don't exactly know what went on, but this one might be worth wondering about. If we go in here and take a look at how these work, we can kind of start them over and you'll see how it all kicks off, opens up the browser, goes in and starts, just not surprisingly, researching a whole bunch of movies. And it's going through a bunch of sites to do this, not surprisingly. I could probably find the total number of sites that it went through somewhere. So I think this is all really, really good. This was really promising as I was looking at it. And then here is where I might be able to scroll through and figure out when it was trying to connect to the MCP that connects to the drive. I don't know that I'd be able to just accidentally happen across that though. Reading from the API. So this is where it started reading from Gmail API. I also asked it to send me an email if it could. Try to verify connections. We need Google Drive, things like that. So I think this is where it started communicating with the APIs and obviously did not work. It did report while that was occurring. I'm not sure that the API even allows me to send an email, but I'll take a look. But I didn't get an email and it didn't save the file. But in any case, let's go take a look at what we get for our money. Sure, we're paying for this. All right, I'm gonna have to kick this up so everybody can see it. All right, so heads of state, Prime Video, here's the hook. Here's the general synopsis of it. Rotten Tomatoes, 60%. So Metacritic's 57, user scores 6. So why it made the cut, high profile stars, nostalgic action tone, generated buzz. Excellent, okay. All right, Back in Action, another one just kind of released in Netflix, Jamie Foxx, Cameron Diaz. So that's the hook. That's great. 23%, audience 67%. Okay, good to see this. So frankly, I do this kind of work from time to time to kind of research movies and TV. I like movies and TV. So this is something that I take on and have to do. I would need to do a little bit of work to figure out whether or not this list would be anything near what I would have come up with given the same kind of information. Some of these probably would have hit my list. I don't know if I would have kept them. These are all kind of very vibey kind of movies. Frankly, I'll probably watch all 3 of these action movies because I love kind of fun, cheesy, allow yourself to be ridiculous action movies. You know, I'm from the 80s. So I will probably watch these. Are they worth 23% for Rotten Tomatoes? Probably not. But are they the best that could be in this action category that have dropped on any streaming service in the last 6 months? Okay. That's very, very debatable. And at the bottom, interestingly enough, they include all the sources down here, which are the same sources that we were seeing in the other document. But this one did do a job of linking to these files so that you can click on them and actually go in and see what they're linking to, right? So I think, well, let's make sure we get one right. That was Sinners. There's On Becoming a Guinea Fowl. Let's see if it actually takes us there. Yeah, so it does just fine. This is the movie On Becoming a Guinea Fowl. So I think that it did a great job, frankly. I think it's really, really fine. The output is not great so far. I give it a pass. I give it a very reasonable pass. The amount of work that it did, it worked for 44 minutes. Is that a 44-minute report? I don't know. However, all 3 of them concluded, returned a report, gave me very meaningful information. So I definitely will give them all an absolute pass. I'm dinging them for the UI that it returns. I don't know. That feels like me, right? That sounds like a me problem, right? Come on, let's be fair. Let's give it one shot, right? I told this to give me some cell phones, the top selling cell phones, and make a nice presentation, a marketing heavy presentation out of it. Let's see what it can do. Okay, so here we are. It finally finished. Super simple one. It was just kind of giving me the top 5 selling smartphones, put it in a presentation for me. So let's take a look at the presentation it came up with. Web preview may not reflect exact formatting. Download to open in your preferred software. Okay, kind of already okay with this. Let's hit play. Let's see. All right, a little bit of formatting trouble, but if I can pull it into software, that's fine. iPhone 16, a little bit plain, right? It's okay. It's clean. iPhone 16 Pro Max. Okay, iPhone 16 Pro. Well, I mean, I get what I asked for. iPhone 15. Okay, so that was the answer. I will say, I'm super happy that it creates slides. Can we export this thing? Okay, clicking download gives me PowerPoint. Okay, and true to its word, the overlap was not seen here as it was on the other system, and we have bullets. Okay, all right, it's starting to look a little bit better, not nearly as plain. It's still pretty darn plain. I don't know that it's going to win any awards, but it would get me started if I was looking for creative 5-page slideshow with, something. And then I could come in here, move things around, and do whatever I need with them, as you'd expect. So I think that's a definite pass. Okay, pretty good start, frankly, but still, they didn't really nail the make it very pretty. It's pretty good. Okay, so what's the final takeaway of all of this? Pretty good. I'll have to keep looking into it. I keep judging the output. Some of it is about the output, though. For these kinds of things, the output is going to matter to me. But a lot of this is also computer use. The things I did not have it do, I didn't have it purchase something. I didn't have it create a report for me. I didn't have some of the standard things that it probably would be able to do much better. I didn't ask for those. So we're really judging it on maybe a curve that's not entirely fair. It's not its absolute expectation that the output is the thing it does best. Really, to me, this is kind of there's a real win here from a real day one. It's kind of a crazy win, frankly. It will only get better from here. We've seen that many times with OpenAI. They definitely deliver on that promise. So I like it. I'm going to run out of 40 this month. I can almost guarantee that. I have a couple more ideas that I want to run now. So I got to split. It's been fun spending some time with you. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.